Citizen watches, one of the largest watch manufacturers in the world. The Japanese brand has been in business for 100 years. And when we're thinking about it from like an enthusiast perspective, I think, of course, we hear about Seiko, we know Orient, and also I think we just know their catalog. We know the watches that these brands are producing. But when it comes to Citizen, I think there's a little bit more confusion and just understanding or failure to understand a lot of the watches that make up their collection. And today what we're gonna be doing, what I wanna do is just have a high-level overview of the different watches from Citizen, starting with the EcoDrives, looking at some automatics, and then some higher end pieces. Yes, some higher end pieces from the brand. So let's jump into the video. Alright guys, I hope to make this a series and just kind of looking at, from a high level perspective, the different watches from different brands, because I think we always hear the same different models over and over again, and I think just from an outsider perspective, just to understand what I'm looking at when looking at this brand, that's kind of what I want to provide here. And a big thank you, before we get any further, to Iran. Iran is just a friend of the channel. He has a blog dedicated to looking at a lot of Japanese watches, primarily Orient, but he was a big help in helping kind of just shed some light on some different Citizen models. So really thank him, and I'll link to his blog down below if you want to give it a read. All right, so as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to be looking at a few different categories for Citizen, starting us off with some EcoDrives. And the first collection of watches we have here from Citizen are looking at their Chandler collection, which is probably best put as being kind of their more field-oriented, kind of everyday style watches. The particular reference we're looking at here is the BU205508X. So this watch comes in with a price of around $110 to around $220, usually where it's fluctuating that. Case size of 43 millimeters, case thickness of 14 millimeters, powered by an EcoDrive 8729, water resistance of 100 meters, and comes with a mineral crystal. So the Chandler collection is one that is certainly front and center when we're looking at EcoDrive models from Citizen. This version features a black PVD steel case, an ivory dial that work really well together, and I think does help with kind of some military flair. The watch includes an analog display of the time, both in 12 and 24-hour formats, as well as the day, the week, and I think is a good starting off point for our list here today. Now next up we have the Citizen World Perpetual AT. And this is the reference CB016051L. These watches are coming in with a price of around $200 to around $380 here. Case size of 42 millimeters, thickness of 10 millimeters, movement is their H145 module, water resistance of 100 meters, and has a sapphire crystal. So the AT stands for Atomic Timekeeping, as this is one of Citizen's radio-controlled watches that synchronizes with an atomic clock. While being highly accurate and functional, and also being radio adjustable in 26 different time zones, this model retains a very slim and I'd almost say elegant shape, as well with that blue style dial. I think it's a very nice looking watch for just overall internals inside here. You almost wouldn't expect it. The combination of solar charging and radio synchronization means you get many years of not having to either change out the battery or manually set the time. So this is just put it on the wrist and not have to worry about kind of watch. Okay, now to switch it up to something a little bit more tool aesthetic, and also something maybe you could beat around a little bit more, with the Citizen Promaster Tough. So this is a reference BN021150E. So these watches are gonna fluctuate between the price of around $250 to $300. Case size, we're looking at 42 millimeters, case thickness of 11 millimeters, movement is an EcoDrive E168, water resistance of 200 meters, and has a sapphire crystal. As the name would suggest, it's built with particular toughness in mind, and I think it can really just withstand a lot of just the daily activities, maybe going outdoors. It has rigid shock resistance and anti-magnetic properties, and Citizen claims its super titanium coating makes the steel case anti-rust, scratch resistant, hypoallergenic, and 5 times harder than bare stainless steel. So this is a true tool watch at the heart, and I think it does kind of walk that interesting hybrid you'll find with a lot of just the many EcoDrive. We looked at the Chandler a little bit earlier, and then finding that kind of happy medium with some of their Promaster divers as well. And I think, man, if this was a little bit smaller in its case profile, I could see this being a watch for a lot of people looking for maybe an everyday wear. But those with larger wrists, I think this could certainly live up to those expectations. Okay, so those are a few EcoDrives. Now I want to move into some automatic watches. And I mentioned the Promaster series, and there's certainly a lot to choose from the EcoDrive segment of their collection, but let's move over to automatics. And the first watch we have here from the automatic point of view is the Promaster Automatic. The reference here is the NY004009EE. Price here, $200 to around $400. Case size of 42 millimeters, case thickness of 12 millimeters. Movement is an automatic 8203, water resistance of 200 meters, and has a mineral crystal. So this Citizen watch is a classic dive watch configuration, produced over the years in multiple different versions and colors. It's relatively inexpensive, robust, and featuring a modestly sized stainless steel case. And in my eyes, this is probably just the definition of a beater watch. This watch is a no-nonsense diver. Often see it just kind of being put up against the Seiko SKX or other Orient divers, and I think for good reasons. This is gonna be a watch that you could bang around, not have to worry about, but it's gonna get the job done. You have ISO certification as well on these watches, so great all-around timepieces and a great entry-level diver for those looking for one from a respected brand. All right, so this next watch is the titanium watch, very unique, but before we jump into that, big shout out and thank you to our partners of the show, Taylor Stitch. So I've been rocking Taylor Stitch clothes for probably 3 years now. If you look at my closet, they're everywhere. They're an awesome US-based clothing brand, ethically sourced materials, awesome different styles to choose from. And I mean, when I approached them to actually be a partner of the show, I was just hoping to kind of get them front and center because I really believe what they're doing. I'm rocking one of their heavy bag tees right now. Awesome shirts for the transition kind of period if you're from a place like I am in Cleveland, Ohio, if you're moving from kind of that spring to summer months. Also, if you guys want to give Taylor Stitch a shot, got the hookup. So down in the description below, if you use that link, if you're a first-time buyer, you can get 20% off, and I also have a promo code if you're a follower of the channel. If you use that at checkout, you can get an additional $10 off your purchase. Give them a shot, they're awesome, and I just want to give them a great thank you again for being a really proud partner of the channel. Okay, so I teased about it. We're gonna be looking at the automatic titanium for our next watch. This is the reference NJ009081A. So these watches are gonna retail between $300 to $400, 42.5 millimeter case size, which I'm not the craziest about. Case thickness of 11 millimeters, movement is an automatic 8213, water resistance of 30 meters, and has a sapphire crystal. So these are kind of interesting. You get a titanium case, but a very elegant looking watch featuring very clean, minimalist style designs that I think is very fashionable given the many trends nowadays. The case, lightweight titanium here, so it's gonna feel light on the wrist, and it does have an exhibition case back as well, providing a glance at the automatic movement. So you have quite a few different variants for these watches. You can get them on a leather strap, different dial colors, lot to choose from here. Love to see a smaller case variant, and I don't see this very frequently. I feel like these are actually more oriented towards different markets, not the United States, but ones I don't see mentioned very frequently, but they are out there. I think are pretty interesting for a titanium watch at this price range. Now next up we have the Grand Touring. In the Grand Touring here, the reference is the NB103153L. So these watches come in with a price range of $900 to $1,000. Case size of 44 millimeters, so certainly a larger watch. Case thickness to kind of match that, 14.5 millimeters. Movement is an automatic 9012, water resistance of 300 meters, and has a sapphire crystal. So this piece belongs to Citizen's signature range, kind of really alluding to what they position as better quality, more finished pieces, and of course, a little bit higher prices as well. But this particular watch, definitely large on the wrist. You're also gonna get some really large crown guards on this watch. Very traditional kind of diver utilitarian style design, but you have that really beautiful blue that matches very well with that orange minute hand and kind of those orange accents throughout the dial. The watch uses a 9012 movement, which runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour. So higher vibration frequency than that of some of their lower end series that I mentioned prior. The watch also comes with a bracelet featuring brushed and polished surfaces and solid end links as well. And I'll just throw this next watch in as an honorable mention because it apparently was discontinued, but it's one I've kind of had my eye on for a while, which is the Grand Classic from Citizen. And we're thinking about the SARVs and the Sarkses of the world, that 100 meters of water resistance, the sapphire crystal, mechanical movement. This watch, I think, rivals a lot of that from this brand, kind of going head to head with a lot of those watches. I mean, you're getting sapphire crystal, 100 meters of water resistance, very simple dial design that I think can be worn in both dressier scenarios as well as kind of everyday scenarios. Unfortunately, they had to discontinue it from what I can see, but they're still out there. You can still find them for around the same price range here. So if you do want to get kind of an everyday watch, you're looking for just different options out there, I think this is just one to take a look at. That's an honorable mention. And now for one final watch to make up the signature collection, we have the signature Octavia. Reference NB401804E. All right, so these watches come in with a price range of $750 to $1,000. Case size of 44 millimeters, thickness of 11.5 millimeters, so a little bit thinner here in comparison to some other models mentioned. Movement is an automatic Citizen 9040, water resistance of 100 meters, and has a sapphire crystal. So this is another representation of the signature range, and one that has a certain significant kind of wrist presence here with its larger diameter, but probably will wear a little bit thinner on the wrist with that case thickness. You have a few different color options that you can go for. You can go for the two-tone option. And these open heart styles, not something I'm always the biggest fan of, especially more entry-level pieces, but I think for somebody that's just trying to get an idea of what it means to own a mechanical watch, this is kind of a cool glimpse into that world. But at the end of the day, this watch is built to just be worn every day. 100 meters of water resistance, stainless steel case, and a sapphire crystal. All right, so now to conclude our video, let's look at some higher-end Citizen watches. We saw a glimpse of this world for maybe people that weren't even aware this even existed at Baselworld this past year. I looked at it in a little bit more detail at my Baselworld recap. I can link to that video down below if you want to check it out. But these particular watches we're looking at here, we have a couple different ones to look at. So we have the Citizen Chronomaster line. Interesting kind of stepping stone. You have solar movements in here, plus or minus 5 seconds a year in accuracy. A reference to mention here is the AQ402151W, retailing around $3,500, case size of 37.5 millimeters, thickness of 10.6 millimeters, 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal. And then you also have the new Caliber 0100s. So looking at the reference that I think will probably be the most appropriate and maybe a little bit more palatable is the AQ602151E. So these are coming in at $7,400, case size of 37.5 millimeters, thickness of 9.1. Then you have that quartz 0100 movement, which I think is the main talking point here. So this movement is incredibly accurate, and I think that really just warrants the price tag here, or might warrant the price tag depending on what you want to go for, but plus or minus 1 second per year. So just to kind of put that in terms that might be easier to understand, you set this one time, and say the battery, of course, maybe we're living in a hypothetical world where the battery's not going to, go ahead and die, but it will be within 2 minutes during your entire lifetime if you set this at the beginning of your life. I think that really brings this into perspective. But this movement at its heart employs an ultra high frequency quartz oscillator. So this reference in titanium is produced for 700 limited edition pieces. An additional 100 pieces will be made in an even more exclusive and expensive gold case coming up. Well, all right guys, if you like this video, you want me to continue looking at kind of these high level perspectives of different brands, what makes up their catalog, please give this video a thumbs up, and then also suggest those brands in the comments down below. Always like to make it happen. In addition guys, we are so close to 100,000 subscribers, so please do subscribe, hit the bell icon. That's a big help for the channel, allowing us to grow and continue to grow. And a big thank you to all of you that have subscribed at this point, watch the videos consistently. It's unbelievable this is actually happening. And then finally, if you want to get an awesome watch for yourself, head over to Bob's Watches. They actually have a Father's Day discount sale going on right now. So you can get up to $500 off a watch off of particular models. So I will link to it in the description. If you use that link, you get some details, as well as you can support the channel if you buy anything. So that's a great way to help just kind of continue for us to just do what we continue to do here. And then finally, if you want to join our watch giveaway, fill out that watch giveaway form and then follow me on Instagram. So guys, thank you again so much for watching. Be well, and I will see you all very soon.